Welcome back, guys. It is time for map 2 between NiP and FaZe, and it is indeed Mirage, not Cash. So we've got Mirage coming up. It's an interesting map from the perspective that it's a pretty darn good map for NiP these days. You know, they started adding it back to the map pool in the Alu days, but I feel like now they really have the tools to be very good at it.
You're saying Alu wasn't the tool?
He was a good tool, but now they have more strategy and tactics.
Oh, very nice.
So, and Molotovs.
You got to challenge Dan every now and then to make sure he's still sharp.
I think he's challenged enough by himself, but moving swiftly on. These two teams played Mirage in their last match as the half round starts. So have fun, guys.
All right, that is karma right there.
All right, it's all good. It's all good, guys. Here we go. Pissed around. I'm ready. You ready, James?
Do it, Dan. Do it.
Okay, Friberg is in there. Already looking for the entries up middle. And NiP going with a super fast round, just going straight into away with the splits. And it's just a blaze of gunfire, a flurry of bullets, and a bomb will be planted amongst all of it for NiP. So they are definitely in advantage from that perspective. However, heads can still be popped here for FaZe. It is 3 versus 3. They don't have a kit anywhere on the remaining players just yet. Maybe one is on the floor. I didn't have time to see. And already we're going to have Rain taking down one player. In comes the trade. Pyth with that. Looking for the next one. Pyth's going to drop a second. Looking for the third, but he will be denied, leaving jkaem in a 1 versus 1. But where is the kid at? This is going to be a problem for jkaem. No time to mess around with, but the open peek from GetRight. And jkaem, I think he's got time here, James.
I think he's just about got time, Dan. And I mean, he's so smart. Obviously, he plays a pro, and we should expect him to be smart, Dan. But that's not always the case. On this occasion, it's really good. jkaem gets close to the angle from GetRight. So once he starts to face, GetRight doesn't have the space to get back behind the angle because jkaem's so close. He exposes himself, Dan. All the way.
Being exposed is
I feel like there are probably arguments for and against the how essential a diffuse kit is for CTs on pistol rounds across varying maps, which is a nerd study to be conducted, Dan. I'll get my lab coats a bit later on. For now, we are into a force buy from NiP. GetRight has opted for Deagle no armor. Did he get any kills? I think he needs at least 1 kill to get Deagle and armor. So I'm assuming he got no kill, but he still wanted a Deagle, so he went for it. He's going to get taken down by the MP7 of kioShiMa. aizy will be lost for the CT side. Rain trying to hold on to the short position at the moment. The bomb is left in a passive position towards B, and we are going to lose players for NiP towards B itself. So I don't know if Rain's he is holding an angle across to the ladder position. Friberg high, Xizt low. I can't imagine much being done here for NiP unless Friberg comes out for a wide peek and shoots Rain straight in the face. Other than that, there shouldn't be much going on. That said, kioShiMa has been taken down by Xizt, but Friberg, does he know how safe he is? Again, he needs the wide peek here, but he's completely unaware of Rain, and now Xizt is alone. Xizt has full armor though, and he is quite a serious fragger for NiP, especially since he gave up the in-game leader. Unfortunately for Xizt, if he had just continued towards B, he would have had a very early engagement, but I think that there's probably been a sound cue now from him running around in apps. So we see the 2 CTs of a crossfire in mid, but now Rain is rotating over towards A, I suppose in case Xizt is coming up from ramp, so Fox can hold down short with an off angle and a P90. So very nice decision making by FaZe with 3 players left to cover 5 positions.
Yeah, and that's the good start that they needed. They send NiP into economic hardship. Let's see if they can work their way back though, maybe with 4 Glocks and a P250. Oh wait, that was FaZe to them on Cobblestone. Okay, so we have just that full eco pretty much coming in from them. I mean, it's obviously supposed to be pretty much unwinnable, these spots, but they will actually get a quick trade there, so some light damage has been done. But really, this is a round for FaZe to make some money. Although, having lost 1 player already, they can't really afford to lose any more, to be honest, if that is their true goal. So NiP will just circle around here, see if they can be a little bit tricky to try to get something done. aizy's going to have none of that, going close here with the MP9. They can get the first frag there. 1 more to be had as well, and just with the last bullet, he's going to get it done. Otherwise, that was a little bit dangerous. So it's going to be 3-0, and we're back into some real Counter-Strike, James. We've got all the rifles now on display.
On display, they're in the cabinet stand, in the glass cabs. Oh, cabinets makes me think of the now defunct arcades in London. 5 AKs on the T side here for NiP, still looking for their first round of this half. Fox on the AWP. And again, we saw difficulty with Fox on the AWP on the CT side of Mirage yesterday, but that's a good start there. Get right, taking a gamble with no smoke in connector. I don't know if NiP were going for a really fast split there, but that was a huge gamble indeed. And with nobody in CPL, there was surely going to be somebody in that position. Now we see the smoke coming into connector. I mean, maybe it was a communication error, but I think Get Right had a peek into connector, at least into the first part of it. Either way, he's gone down. FaZe off to an early advantage.
But Xizt is in connector. That's good work by NiP. Despite losing a player, at least they have gained connector, and they will trade it right back, it would seem, as the 4 versus 4 is now the spot that FaZe play from. And they don't know where the bomb is going just yet. Having a player in connector for the Ts can mean anything, so they really need more information, and they don't have anyone to get that info right now. They're a player in B apps, but not pushed. He's going to hear some gunfire there, though. Through the smoke. Oh, he's going to get actually just tagged down straight through the smoke there. Good spray coming in from Forest to do that. But Fox just popping up on ticket booth just for a moment to take down Pitts. So able to refrag. And the bomb down in the middle of nowhere. Although Forest able to pick it up. Has some teammates who can secure that plant with him. There are also, well, there is also still Xizt towards connector actually. I think more window actually right now, but FaZe have everybody coming in from CT. This might not be expected. This could be quite dangerous actually for NiP, this setup. But good angle here from Forest, able to try to turn the corner. They walk into the spray, but it's still not going to work. Friberg with the long range AK onto the bomb, and this is looking like really good position, but Fox is there with the AWP. Is he going to get the snap there? Oh, great stuff there from Friberg, able to do the job he was required to do, set up in that position with that plant, and that's going to be the round for NiP.
So they get their first round on the board. FaZe buying straight back, however, but I think it will be about the AWP. Indeed, Fox will go from an AWP to a FAMAS, although with how he's been smoked off in the mid area, it may not be as horrible as it otherwise might have been. aizy going for some maiming with the HE at the beginning. Flashed off, so he won't know if there were any or many over towards top mid, and we see NiP looking for a fast play to break the economy of the CTs over towards the B bomb site, but the counter flashes are real, and NiP will back off immediately. They have pulled a bit of a rotation, but they can't really capitalize on it at the moment.
Yeah, and we'll get the bomb and friends. The bomb and friends. Moving back through T-spawn towards slope for the A attack. So definitely not liking that idea into B after all. It would seem they've got 2 players in mid though. NiP is FaZe just chill. Rain notoriously strong on that short position, making a lot of smart decisions overall. It's going to spot one player and back away, play it passively. Right now, actually, the A defense is easily isolated with grenades, and we're going to see a wall of smokes coming in onto this A bomb site to try and isolate these players. And let's see if it's done its job here. kioShiMa still has the ability to take frags here, but they have isolated them so well that they can't trade for each other, and that means that NiP get to take down each player one after another. And that is how you want to do it. And they left with a 4 versus 2, so that's a very nice after-plant setup for them. FaZe in a really poor position now. I don't think they shouldn't have enough money to buy after this. So it is quite key that they save these rifles now, because it's quite unlikely that they'll get anything done in this round. And even if they, let's say, try to commit the rifles to dying in the next round, at least they have a better chance of getting damage then than trying to retake post-plant in this position, which just is not going to happen, I don't think. The hunt is on.
The quiet hunt. Oh, jkaem, he over, what do you call that when you go past?
Overcompensate?
Overshot.
Overshot?
I think overshot is more appropriate. He overshot his crosshair there. And NiP get their second round on the board. So you can see the money for FaZe has run into some difficulty, as mine has, Dan, once I saw my tax bill. Then it needs to be paid on Monday. So FaZe is going to be...
Make sure you get some life kills, James.
Yeah, indeed. Not on the accountant, of course. So, not much FaZe can do in this situation. We need to simply bear witness, Dan. as the one gets planted over towards B. And the entire NiP team are here, apart from Friberg, who's just watching any would-be retake CTs coming from the underpass. But he doesn't have much to do at the moment. And he'll have a teammate coming with him, so NiP can secure an exit. Fox playing the off angle on the top of the ladder is always a fun spot to play. But I say fun spot to play, most of the time you're playing it, you tend to be in a lot of trouble, so not so much fun to be had after all. So with that bomb plant, NiP can save from the bedroom position. Or kitchen position, I guess. That is the kitchen. People call the shop kitchen, Dan. Perhaps because of previous iterations of the map. However, it is in fact a shop. There are shelves. You could purchase things there.
To be fair though, it's more of a toilet because there's bog roll and there's bleach. That's the only thing on the shelves, James. It's bog roll and bleach. Really, it's just an expansive toilet area.
I wouldn't use it as a toilet, Dan. So you see a room with toilet paper and bleach and you're just going to take a dump in there, is that what you're saying?
Well, someone has to.
Would you choose the corner, Dan, or the shelf? I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's fit for purpose, but
Are you a corner man or a shelf man? We'll have to find out later. Rain with potential 3-man spray down, gets 2 so far. Friberg is still there, he's got the M4A4, enough bullets in the magazine to get the 3rd. So NiP in a lot of trouble here. GetRight's guns disappeared, but he's still trying to fire with it, and Rain will get taken down. Done his job for the round. Man advantage for the CTs, and Forrest tries to get aggressive as this push comes in. kioShiMa with a smart jump there to avoid getting headshot. Now it's down to GetRight versus 2. Heavily tagged as well. 18 HP on the boy. And now he's dead.
Yeah, actually pretty nicely managed to get the plant down there, so that's a good effort. But what speaking of good efforts, Rain just says no on that catwalk position, man. They line up for him, and he will knock them all down. Line him up, knock him down.
Fox needs to give that knife to Rain, because then you can call it Purple Rain. No? I mean, that's a no-brainer to me. He needs a purple Doppler, so you can call it Purple Rain.
What about Chocolate Rain? Chocolate Rain.
I don't know if there's a knife where that makes sense. You need a brown knife.
Rust coat?
Not really. I mean, maybe.
Really rusty.
Yeah, it's like a crunchy bar. I don't know if they have crunchy bars in America, but this is Europe after all. If you have crunchy bar in your country, presuming it's not the UK or Northern Ireland, then let me know. I'm curious.
Well, it's time to go for the challenge into Rain. If the last round wasn't enough, perhaps NiP want to set him in his place. But NiP looking like they want to get the split on towards A at the moment. Fox is an important player here. With that smoke down, it's going to allow the T's to get very close. So Fox is at huge risk. So he really needs to get something out of this. He's got teammates to deal with and immediate positions towards slope. He has to turn around. He does, but it's only good for one frag. Trades all over the place. Still a tight defense here between aizy and kioShiMa. Although kioShiMa will die, aizy can't get the refrag here. These nades doing mad work. GetRight gets the frag and the burn frag onto aizy. So the nades, that just shows you how amazing grenades can be when you're attacking onto a bomb site. Because that was a great setup potentially for kioShiMa and GetRight, but the nades forced it so that they had to be one at a time on the challenges, and then there's just nowhere for aizy to even stand. So that's a good round there from NiP, and that's the round that they reset FaZe with. So an important one for sure.
Violence. FaZe. We saw many ecos from them early on Cobblestone, and now we're seeing the same from their CT side of Mirage, and that's worrying.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is their pick, and I mean, I don't think the score tells the whole story. On the previous map, it was pretty much a rout from NiP, despite, I mean, save for a horrible round versus Pistols. So if FaZe continue to find themselves on ecos in this half, then maybe the 2-0, the spectre of a 2-0 becomes apparent, Dan.
Perhaps it does. Well, it is going to be interesting to see if there can be some damage here. We can't count FaZe out. I mean, they won a round on Cobblestone with 4 Glocks and a PT-50 against 4 by James. So in my book, that means literally anything is possible.
If they, if the CTs had a flashbang, then they could go for a nice push on slope with the flash thrown over the top from the connector. I recently learned that watching one of Fallen's videos. And would have nice purpose, you know, for a cheap price. Because right now they are at the mercy of NiP. They're just waiting for them. Whereas if they can take some aggression there, then maybe they get some frags there. Maybe they don't. If nobody's there, maybe they rotate towards B where the players are headed. All for the cost of a low $2,000, Dan. $200, in fact.
You're trying to be like one of those street
infomercial guys. I am.
On the market.
I am.
A pound of strawberries, £1.
Well, more like an American infomercial than you know, your street trader.
A punnet of strawberries, James. A mere £1.
It's German made, but we know we can't sell it at this price all week, so buy it now. I have a slap chop at home.
A what?
A slap chop.
What is that?
Have you not seen the slap chop infomercial?
No.
It's this device which people use to dice vegetables, basically.
Right. As are all things sold in infomercials, they are used to cut vegetables.
Yeah. So
I
wouldn't say dice, but it's just made to cut them into smaller pieces.
But James,
instead of a knife, basically, it's a fancy knife.
I have a question about your slap chop, though.
Yes.
Will it blend? Will it blend?
Dan's a question, Dan. Those videos were good. Those videos
yeah.
were very good indeed.
I don't even know what the product was. All I know is
it's a blender.
If it will blend or not.
What do you mean you don't know if it's what the product was? It's a blender.
Yeah, of course it's a blender, but I don't know.
How can you?
I don't know what. I can't just go and say, "Oh, can I have a blender, please?" There's many blenders, James. Which blender is it?
You mean the brand? You mean the brand?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, no, because you said product.
Yeah.
The product's a blender.
Yeah, but it's a specific type of blender. It's because it's
brand.
You meant brand? It can blend iPads, James. That's all I know. Blend iPads.
It's Blend Tech. Blend Tech blender.
I don't
know. That's the company. I don't know what the actual like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it is. I'm 100% sure. The company's called Blend Tech, but I don't know what the actual name of the blender is called. But will it blend, Dan?
Right now, James.
Can I have a will it blend, please?
It appears that FaZe will blend.
Just about. I mean, NiP are one round ahead. That said, NiP are on the T side, which generally is the stronger side, map pool wide for NiP at present. But this is FaZe's pick. They picked it today. They picked it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe they'll pick it tomorrow, should they make it there, Dan. So
I think you should do your own version of the Old Spice commercial. I think you'd be able to pull that one off.
You're a racist.
Am I supposed to deny that? I don't know. Like, what's going on? Anyway, 5-4. Trying to get this train back on the tracks, James. It derailed.
We're not even on a train. We're not even on a train, mate.
I'm not a technician.
We're somewhere in the air between the train and the ground, awaiting our impending injuries from impacts.
So that's pretty bad. Well, we have pistols here for FaZe, so they're going to have to try to get something done with these. I wonder what it will be. They got obviously a lot of really good pistol players. I mean, we saw some cool stuff from jkaem with that Xizt on Cobblestone. That was beautiful. And I mean, do I even need to talk about any of the other players? I mean, seriously. Seriously. It's always scary when they have pistols. That is why a team like NiP it's important that they run those like really nice disciplined drills that they have, which deal with the pistols, with all those Molotovs. And Friberg able to make the pick there. Rain was one of the 2 Deagle players, now just 1 Deagle on kioShiMa. So NiP, they get the initial pick. Looks like they're going to go back now to run their little set piece, perhaps, onto the A-bomb sites. And ooh, look at this. FaZe at the same time are actually going to move up top mid. I think they might have heard the running there in T-spawn. So I think FaZe should know what's going on. But that said, kioShiMa was actually checking B-apps, so it feels like they didn't hear the running.
I love that Molotov towards Sandwich in case anybody's there. But, well, we'll get to nerd facts later on. Actually, now it's jkaem's the only man live and he's on his own, we can get to nerd facts now. Forest has an AWP, and I mean, it depends on the timing you want to run as well. So maybe it's just easier, well, it's definitely easier to simply throw a Molotov there and shoot people who run out. But in the Sandwich position, underneath the bricks, the first bricks, if you're looking at it from T-spawn, there is, maybe Observer can go to it actually, because jkaem's staring at some walls here. Sandwich position, under the bricks, you can see there's a crate at the bottom of the bricks, and that crate has a gap in it. It's like a pallet. So if you have an AWP on slope, you can see through the crate. So if someone's standing in Sandwich, you can see them and shoot them in the foot, essentially. So if you have an AWP, as Forest does, and you come here late, just look through the bottom of the crate there, and you will know if anyone is in sandwich.
Are you sure?
100% that.
From any position, in sandwich.
Yeah. It's not like blue on Dust 2 on long, where the kind of wall behind it is slanted. There's kind of, I don't even know what those walls are called. It's like some kind of wall barrier type thing. Anyway, you can kind of go up a little bit so you can't be seen, but that one you can. There's nowhere that you can do such a thing. You're gonna get shot in the toe. I once dropped my PC on my toe, Dan, and I ripped it in half. But enough about that. It's a minute 50 on the clock here, and FaZe are finally back on the buy. 4-2-6 now. The only thing going in FaZe's direction is the loss bonus.
But as far as money goes, NiP are racking up a lot of it. I think they've got probably average around 8-9k or something. Okay, something like 8k average or something, I don't know. Anyway, they have a lot of money, so they're definitely starting to power ahead there, so FaZe have to be careful. That's a great pick off there from aizy though, and looks like they might want to back out now, but aizy's going to stay alive, actually picking up another kill as well, going down to 16 health though. But Rain's still here. I mean, if there is to be a big response, Rain can help deal with it. Although that said, Friberg somehow gets a headshot onto kioShiMa, and with aizy still low, there is a doable situation here for NiP, but FaZe finally getting that early round advantage that they haven't really been getting in most of these situations. So they're going to be able to have a strong chance of taking this one. But GetRight's really, really dangerous, obviously, in this position, but aizy's looking for it. So GetRight has to guess correctly here. He's got to guess that aizy's sitting there, checks the first position, though, and Fox is going to nail him. So very nicely done by Fox holding that angle. And generally the setup on A was really nice there from Fox and aizy, and it's down to Friberg. And Friberg doesn't really have much information that's going to help him.
30 seconds left, and he's got 2 players on the A bomb site to find. And he is going to be taken down almost immediately by Fox. So FaZe back to winning ways here, going to close the gap somewhat. And now we'll see NiP dip into that Swedish moolah pool, into the Corona pool, into the crowns. They've got less money for Korv now, Dan. We're in Sweden, eat Korv.
Hopefully there is enough for kebab pizza though.
Kebab roll.
So here we go, we got the 5 AKs, the 3 M4s, 1 AK and the 1 AWP. So big guns for both teams. NiP going for a mid-take with the smoke. And Fox actually switching up the position that Rain usually has, which is short. So I like this a lot. I mean, Fox, we saw him on Mirage yesterday. He didn't get anything done. It's not really his fault that in that game, if you watch from his perspective, that he didn't get anything done. It's just that he was always just in the worst possible position. It's just really hard to deal with sometimes. But I like that he's going short. It's a nice adjustment. And aizy's going to be picking up the first frag. He was super hot on this map yesterday. Friberg, though, able to trade him in connector, which is quite nice indeed for the NiP side, but the refrag coming in straight away from Rain, who has that new position there, running shenanigans in window. But speaking of shenanigans, we've got jkaem in a position that could be quite dangerous. Forest is probably going to get wrecked. There it is, the reckoning. Just one more player here to deal with. It's Pit. It's the bomb as well. So now the rotation can come in for the CT side of FaZe. 2 more players to assist jkaem, and they are indeed on all the angles now. Xizt is in a horrendous position. He heard the scoping there towards short, and he gets flashed. Beautiful pop flash from jkaem. That's the round for FaZe, and they are going to take a couple rounds back in such a key timing, but still there's so much money on NiP right now. So much money.
Cash in the bank. 3 rounds remain in this half. Now we have Forest going for the AWP. He's got a great spawn actually, and because he's not going to mid, I do wonder if he's headed towards... Okay, never mind. There is a fast timing you can go for towards B apps, towards B rather, where if somebody's jumping on the box, you can take them down as they jump up, if you're lucky. However, he's going for the more passive, less volatile. Just check to see if anybody's moving in underpass, but there is actually... jkaem, look, he's moving all the way through apps, but he's got the wrong angle. Forest is going to take him down for free. Bomb not spotted either because it's top mid. Player loss for both sides. FaZe's defense will be weakened. Minute 20 on the clock. NiP can do whatever they want for now.
But what do they want to do? That is the question, James. Looks like they have a nice setup here towards the catwalk area, so they could potentially get themselves on a split towards B. The bomb is dropped though at T-spawn, so someone kind of needs to set up, and there goes Friberg. So really nice little flick there from Fox. Bomb will be collected finally by Forest as they abandon all hope towards B. But they will likely actually have caused a window of opportunity for themselves where there is no rotation out of B, because there's only 4 players for FaZe. They've just felt a lot of pressure towards that position, and despite getting the frag, they don't want to push their luck at this point and take the risks. So NiP get a small chance here getting into this A bomb site. It looks like Xizt was spotted actually going into jungle, and even though he was spotted, Fox is going to lose a battle to him. That is huge. Xizt in a very strong position. kioShiMa getting tagged there through the wall. I'm not sure if that pop flash even did anything, and he's going to get naded as well. kioShiMa completely wrecked in that position, and aizy gets wrecked as well. Down the rain though, 1 versus 2 takes the first player, but there is Forest there on the bomb plant. He's got to go for the bomb plant. Oh no! Forest misjudged the time, and he went for the fake, and he dies after the time.
Oh, that is a disaster. I respect the attempt.
I don't, James. He should have planted the bomb. The bomb should have gone down there.
Yeah, I mean
that's just such a gamble, isn't it? I mean, you have to.
It's a relatively safe play, yeah.
Hit the shot. That's the problem.
I'm guessing it's.
I mean, it's not like Rain has an advantage.
I guess if he, I mean, post plant, I think it's difficult for Forest to peek with the AWP after planting, because he can be close, and he's going to have an advantage on either side. Is the rifle. If he shoulder peeks and Forest misses, then he's dead. And I can only imagine it's those factors which would make him go for the duel rather than the plant.
I think he just didn't know the time. That's what I'm going to go with. Because I think Forest is confident in hitting any kind of shot. And now his team has no money, James. They could have $800 more.
FaZe could go into the second half with a nice lead based on that micro situation now.
Oh yeah. That's a really big play actually. I mean, that's going to hinder NiP's next buys, and we all know how much that money can mean to a team like NiP. NiP is able to actually squeeze a lot out of the economy because of the sheer attention they put onto Molotovs and flashes as well. So, I mean, we'll see in this round they'll have a healthy amount of nades, but the problem is that they spend all of their money. Right, so you want to have some level of security. They're on the last round, James.
Get Right's playing with Quake settings then.
Yeah.
His gun is not visible.
So basically all I said was pretty much pointless, and the only edge they could have gotten was from the bomb plant, James, was out of the last round. So I should shut up. Rain is trying to make NiP players shut up though with that auto sniper. That's really cool that he buys it just for the initial smoke there. That's actually super cool. I like that a lot. And now we're going to see the fast play. Hashtag change of pace.
Forest jumping over the flames. Quite pretty, but no beauty in being taken out the sky by Rain like that. 2 kills for him. Make that a third. Could stop the bomb from going down. Xizt not even going to try. 4 versus 2. Xizt is in a lot of trouble here. And CTs will continue to stream in. Rain gets taken down in isolation. Molotovs all over the place, making sure the bomb doesn't go down. Xizt will fall, however. Friberg on 3 HP with 3 to fight. That's 1 HP per person. We'll see if the CTs can do 1 HP each, and that will get the job done. aizy goes down, goes to pre-fire. Fox expecting he's holding an angle there, and indeed he almost was. So now Friberg's looking for the other 1 versus 1. He knows that the AWP will be trying to keep the other player safe, so can he find an angle on said player? It's a crucial smoke, but he's moving 40 fast. No, he's not. 40 seconds left for him to find it. Still running out of bullets though. Gonna try and charge forwards, but Fox is repositioned. 9-6, an unlikely 9-6 based on the way most of that half was going.
Yeah, really nice from FaZe. And that situation from Forest actually, I think it ended up actually being the optimal play because money didn't matter. So that was actually a really cool attempt. But yeah, FaZe showing their resilience here, and generally speaking, yesterday we saw the same thing on Mirage. Their CT sides are quite scary. And one of the big differences you'll see here is perhaps the adjustment from Fox, basically, because previously, Fox was playing these positions towards window or towards the B apartments, and he was just always in the wrong position, or whenever he was wanting to take a duel somewhere, he would get smoked off, and then a site would get taken. He would have to rotate across the entire map to get something done. So he ended up basically having no impact at all. But what they did in this CT setup is they changed Fox's positions a lot. You almost never saw him in the window area. It was more Rain actually. Rain took at the first part of the half where we saw NiP winning a lot of rounds. You know, Rain was in his usual short position, but when Fox started to go then and started to mix it up a little bit, we started to see him actually having a high impact, and he ended up top fragging for his team with that AWP. So that seemed to be a big difference here for the team.
I'm really curious to find out if NiP are ready for FaZe's fast execute into the A site. And obviously, it's almost like when we watched it yesterday against Mouse Sports, it was almost like towards the end of FaZe's T half, they kind of ran out of ideas and just kept trying to run the same strategy.
It was really good,
either that, or because of its success, mainly in the connector area, they just chose to keep running it. But I do wonder if NiP are going to be prepared for that. I'm a bit concerned for NiP in the sense that I don't know that 6 rounds on their T side is enough to mount a comeback versus FaZe's T side.
There's definitely not really much security unless they win the pistol round. Then it can look fine. But yeah, you're right. That's actually a really good point. That fast connector split that they go with. I think in most cases it was kioShiMa and I think in the only other situation I saw it was aizy leading the charge. And I think almost always that round actually ended up being victorious for them. I think there's only one in which they lost it, I think, and it was very close. So that's going to be super awesome. A team like NiP, you kind of expect them to have that level of knowledge though of their opponents.
Well, we will soon find out, but first will be the pistol. NiP bolstering the B bomb site with 3 players. However, the bomb is over towards A, and it seems that FaZe are going to be going for the split, but not the one we see on their buy round. 2 players coming in the underpass. Fox lurking top mid. Always reminds me of Maniac on Titan when I see somebody lurking top mid on Mirage. And now we have some engagement. So Fox moves over, and kioShiMa will take a pit down while Fox is running distraction. They come charging towards jungle while Friberg backs off. Seems NiP are going to be going for the retake here.
Yeah, this is really cool by FaZe getting a pick off and 2 dinks on their way into the bomb plant. What a brutal situation. Nice little boost there from Friberg, you know, playing with the little fence there. Very, very nice indeed. Get some extra damage, but the kills are not happening here for NiP. They're also tagged. Looks pretty impossible at this point for Forest and Xizt. Just Forest, the pistol master, left now, having to make what seems to be an impossible situation doable. 13 HP, and he's just going to save his Kevlar, and I don't blame him with 13 HP.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
So NiP will lose the pistol round, and again, you know, it's definitely a situation that they can recover from. It's Counter-Strike after all, but they, as you said, you know, 6 rounds is not very much, and they needed some security. Like, having a bad economy on Mirage is like having a bad economy on Inferno. It just changes the percentages so much, in my opinion, when it comes to how you're able to play your chances. And you know, you don't have the AWP, you don't have all the nades, so FaZe have much more options to kind of wreck you, basically, based on that. And this is why I actually like not seeing a force buy here.
Free fly coming in from kioShiMa. This was close, but he will not get taken down. So we have the saved helmets. Sorry, saved Kevlar from Forest, not the saved helmet. And his eagle.
He's moving up in the world, James. He's got the eagle and a helmet.
Indeed. Ooh, speaking of helmets, FaZe's Fox's helmet will not save him from the follow-up from none other than Forest. So we're going to have the MP7 and a Molotov picked up by Get Right, while the rest of the NiP players try to hold down the A bomb site. Forest now making more of a nuisance of himself, and because, well, Forest had CT and you can see pit over towards jungle, that would have made it harder to plant the bomb. The bomb has gone down on default. There's no kit for the NiP side, which is a good thing for FaZe because it is a bad plant. That default plant, not good for the FaZe clan. However, their weaponry is. We have a rotation coming in from Get Right, moving over towards A. Looking at the ranges they're playing, it looks like they're going to go for exits. I mean, Get Right's in a good position to make some bank here. kioShiMa jumping into the angle, the aim punch coming in, and kioShiMa will win the duel. But there are still exits to be made, and Pit has rotated to a good position here, so kioShiMa's going to have to be careful. Is he going to survive from there? Maybe not, or maybe he will.
I saw the 2 kills happening there. Alas for Pit, only 1. So pretty economic stuff from NiP overall, and Forrest did go with a bit of an extra investment, but he picked up 2 kills, so that's an extra $600 from him. So the deal kind of pays for itself, just about a little tiny loss of $100 there, but overall a worth investment. It was #worth. So we will get a fast little play here from Rain. Will we see any flashes or Molotovs? Again, it would be beautiful to see the Molotov into the sandwich position. Maybe he could try to spot for those leg exchanges, but it will not be. Here goes Rain, looking for the frags with some help here. So nice little coordination in, and by and large, they are going to get all the frags they need to, clearing out the site immediately. And there you go, job pretty much done. I mean, there's a couple players left that could cause some damage, and that's a little bit dangerous. GetRight picks up the kill into Rain, but only a Mac 10 is collected. Forrest, though, finding himself in a position to maybe do some more damage towards middle as well. And GetRight's going to come and help him. So they have a player isolated, and there is some communication about this. So perhaps they could get the frag, but looks like GetRight's actually going to get out of there in the end. And he wants to play more the kind of the solo position, just catching somebody off guard. Although, not to be, perhaps. And he will probably just die to the explosion if he stays there. Will he die to the explosion if he stays in connector, James? With no armor?
With no armor. Well, it depends on where the bomb was planted. I don't know where it was planted. If it's planted for short, then 100%. He's dead. Unless he's on the... He's probably dead then. Let's just leave it there. FaZe on the T side are going to have... going for 5 AKs actually. Dignitas star with double the score of NiP at present. Pit's going to be the AWP man for the CT side. Still something we need to get used to. Forrest not being the main AWPer when necessary for FaZe, who are moving for that fast connector play with the smoke over towards jungle as well. Very nice stuff indeed by FaZe, and that is them taking charge of the A bomb site as if it were a pistol round here for the CTs. kioShiMa will trade, but 2 players going down. aizy and Fox, one of them obviously planting the bomb. That is huge for the NiP side, leaving Rain alone now as jkaem has disappeared.
Wow.
So how about that for a response?
Yeah, so that's really cool because we were talking about that play from FaZe where they go super fast into the super fast split with a very fast timing through connector into A, and it does feel like NiP are cognizant of that because they more or less had a retake set up there. There's like one player that's kind of in a position where he's kind of committed, but that's because you can't overreact to maybe that play happening. But instead, they just had the retake and it worked really perfectly. Other teams, other times when it worked against Mousesports, we would actually see that they would have 2 players on the site, and that's what happens is they just get split on too fast. But nice way to be safe against that play. And we've got Pit here poking in from the connector position, the short position, as opposed to the connector position on the opposite side. And FaZe looking to get the bomb into B, so looking to explode onto B, and there is GetRight there with an M4, and there is of course Pit on short, so should be a pretty good setup, and they got the info now.
So the split's coming in, and it's trade for both sides, down to 3 versus 3. Fox with a nade in his hand, facing 2 players, will smartly choose to get out of dodge, but Friberg coming in from the back with 2 frags before they can do anything about it. jkaem versus 3, this might not work out for him. He can get himself some 1 versus 1s, but will end up having the wrong angle, 2 at the same time, and Xizt will be the ones taken down. NiP hanging on here. FaZe not too close to 16 just yet, so they should be concerned. And their money isn't in the right place. We might see an eco here from the T side.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a really nice, situation that NiP had there. Able to play that retake so quickly, and I really loved GetRight's spray. It's like the typical GetRight things, basically. Throws the molly down, sprays down full auto onto the first player, and damages the other player critically, who's taking the fight in the flames, so he dies as well. But I can't really speak for too much longer about that because we have a fast play out of the pistols here from FaZe, and they will actually claim 1 player in mid. It's Pit. He's going to lose his AWP. Perhaps it can be collected later on, or perhaps not. We'll see. I don't think NiP are really super interested in challenging in middle after Pit goes down. I mean, you need to have players to properly abuse advantages, and if you're just facing the pistols, there's not really enough of an advantage, I think, to justify it without support. So we got Forrest there, very wary of aizy, perhaps. Will he catch him? Yes, he will. And Garrett's going to hear the rest of the team. Moving on to B, so in position to deny this, he's got Forrest to help him out. NiP should be okay here, but that said, the frag's coming in fast, and all of a sudden the Swedes are definitely sweating as Xizt and Friberg have to retake 2 versus 2. No Kevlar on Fox, but aizy is loaded up with Kevlar helmet. He's got a CZ as well. Maybe there's a gun to be picked up. In go the mollies, and now it's time to move. Xizt in there with the trade. 1 versus 1 against jkaem again. The player with Kevlar, and he's got that CZ. We've seen how deadly he is with the CZ. Perhaps there's a gun there. Still no rifle for jkaem, unfortunately for him, but he's got close range with the CZ, and that's all he needs. Connects the head, and that's going to be another round for FaZe, an unlikely one. And look at NiP's money. That is very bad for the Swedes.
Yeah, this could be the round which breaks the camel's back, Dan. It's interesting that jkaem chose to keep the M4 over the AK as well, especially a silenced M4A4, although quite a dab hand on the CT side, so he prefers it, but he loses the one-tap advantage on the AK, which is part of the balance between the two sides. So this is a very raw eco indeed from NiP. Going to be playing at a 6-round deficit. jkaem just clearing house at present. aizy doesn't want to run out of bullets in this situation, because that might happen. So Xizt, last man standing now versus 3. And you can see Rain getting aggressive up short because obviously you want to play the numbers game, the trade game in this situation, but also you don't want Xizt to be picking up an AK and become much stronger, like go Super Saiyan with it. So best to go there and clear him out sooner rather than later. 6-round lead for FaZe now. Are we going to 3 maps, Dan?
Well, I mean, NiP can't put a foot wrong. That's the position they're in, and you know, you were talking about, was 6 rounds enough on the T side, and it's looking like it is a sore excuse for a T side for NiP, as they are in a really bad spot here. But Xizt is able to take the first kill there. kioShiMa going for a super fast contact play. I love to make that play when it's matchmaking or a pug. It's just run in, James, run and gun. Especially if you need to go to the toilet, you can just do that. But then if it goes well,
just screw your team over.
You can't go to the bathroom. Sorry?
Just screw your team over.
Screw the team over. That's...
Run in there, die. Yeah, I'm going bathroom.
Hey,
4 versus 5.
Sometimes I win the round for you, James. Never remember those ones, do you? So here we go. We've got the refrag coming in from Fox there onto Xizt. Now as the push comes into the site, but what's going on there? It's got aizy looking towards Catwalk. Forrest catches him with the perfect timing, and Friberg coming in also with some very nice timing, leaving Fox in Palace with not to do. What? Great flick there. And that might just be enough to give him a chance. He gets past the smoke, but he misses the second shot. So Fox, you can't count this guy out, but he will be shut down in the end there. But only 2 players surviving for NiP, and their economy sucks. So you can see they're rebuying James. But what is this? Of course, it's the UMP.
Good old UMP. It's Nico's favourite weapon.
Oh, and an MP7 on pits as well.
Well, this is going to be quite the test. The only player who doesn't have armor on the T side is Fox with the AWP. So that will make the range of the MP7 and UMP, well, it'll still be good.
Well, this is interesting because kioShiMa has only a Tech 9. So you would predict a play from FaZe which will represent that. And I think that's what we're going to see. kioShiMa can run in first with that Tech 9. Or well, it looks like it's jkaem, but never mind, as we have the play coming into that B-bomb site. And what do you have here? A UMP and an MP7 here for NiP. That's just not enough. And they're going to get shut down here. It's just Pit with that MP7. He's going to run in, trying to take down the bomber. Yes, he'll get it done just in time there. So, and he picks up the AK as well, but he is at the mercy of the Ts who are littering the bomb sites. In comes Forrest now, has to go for the hero play. But it seems heroes do die, as it will be game point now for the FaZe side. They really are looking strong for that 3rd map.
What do NiP have to offer? Pennies, Dan. Pennies. Coppers.
A punnet of strawberries.
A what?
A punnet of strawberries.
What is a punnet?
That is like a little, it's a measurement of strawberries. It's how they sell strawberries at markets. Don't you know this?
I'm not from the countryside, Dan. I'm going to look into this later on.
Okay. For
now, we'll see what NiP can offer for a punnet of strawberries. 2 CTs deep into the A bomb site here, but jkaem finds the range. Fox close range, making his AWP shotgun, and it looks like this game has come to a close here. 16-9 seems to be likely unless Forrest can ace with an MP9.
I seen Stranger Things. He's dead. Oh no, he's not dead.
He
He is dead.
He is.
And Pit is dead as well. They're all dead.
Definitely dead.
All the Swedes are dead.
All the way dead.
Very dead. So, there you go. It's a pretty darn strong result from FaZe in the end there. 16-9, a convincing victory. And it seems like NiP just didn't get enough rounds on their first half. And that seems to be the crux of the issue. I mean, of course, they lose the pistol round on their CT side as well, which is always very painful. And we got Janko here to give us his thoughts. What do you think, Janko? Where was that game lost for NiP?
I agree that it was probably lost in the first half, and the fact that they lost both pistols again makes it really hard for them. I agree with James. I think you mentioned it in the cast, saying that they kept going for that default setup towards mid, and we were talking about it when they played the first time on Mirage as well, that NiP was really adamant about going mid and going for their default, when FaZe was exactly putting most of their emphasis on the CT side towards that area, right? It would have been much better for NiP if they, let's say, faked that they were going for a default. Someone throws a smoke top mid from T-spawn, and then you have one player, probably Friberg or GetRight, throwing a Molotov in connector, the second smoke on window room and flashes, and, you know, faking that there's more people there. And then you have the rest of the 4 players, 3 going up ramp and 1 going out A apps, and then they're probably gonna only have to trade with 1 person on the A bomb side. I think something like that would have been a much better. It would be a good adaptation from them. Probably would net them the round, and that would then in turn force FaZe to react. Right? They couldn't only focus on mid as much probably. So in the end, they did win 6 rounds, which is okay considering they lost the pistol. But when you lose second pistol as well, then it's much more difficult to recover.
So one thing I need to ask you is, because we're kind of focusing on the failures of NiP there. You know, what did FaZe do well in your eyes?
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
I think that they were just playing their own game in a sense. You can see from their Mirage games, we saw a couple of them recently, that's how they play CT side, right? Usually they focus towards the mid area. It's probably Kio most of the times that he's alone somewhere on the A bomb site. Fox doesn't move as much with the op. Usually he's around that mid area. We saw him once switch places with Train, which was good. But it goes back and forth depending on whether teams adjust to it or they don't. They seem to be really proficient at that play style. They seem to have practiced it. And then in turn on their T side as well, they have a couple of these executes that they run. And they, again, tend to work for them, especially because FaZe is a team that has a lot of individual skill and a lot of firepower on their team. So more often than not, they will get those entry kills when they go for an execute, when they go for a bomb site. The problem comes once they get control of the bomb site, and if they haven't won the round already by that point, by eliminating a big number of CTs, then maybe things get messy a little bit when they have to defend from the retake if they don't react properly. And
James, do you have any thoughts? I don't want to leave you out here. Obviously, when we bring Janko in, I'm going to have to focus on Janko.
I'm glad FaZe won because I want to see 3 maps. I want to see Cash as a decider map between these 2 teams. This going to be good.
All right, well, guys, it is time to go for a quick break before we get into Cash. And remember to check out the Score Esports app on the Google Play or iOS App Store if you're looking for news, stats, and more for any of the variety of esports titles that they have on there.
It means that while we are in the break, they can check the score on the Score Esports app.
Yes.
Available on Google Play or iOS App Store.
All right, we'll see you after the break.